Oh, hello. Where have you been? Well, actually, you've not been anywhere. It's me who's been not been around because of a lack of filming ability. But hopefully this new camera is now up and running and working. It's got some bloody settings on it, I don't mind telling you. But anyway, this one, this little film is a case of testing, 1, 2, 3. And hopefully it'll be working, 1, 2, 3. I won't know until I get it back to the editing suite, which is actually my spare bedroom. But that's good enough for me. You've seen this spot before. This is my static filming, one of my favourite static filming spots. So what have I got to report? Well, a couple of things. I had an issue the other day, which I thought was similar to the lack of speedo and lack of ABS issue that I had last year. My speedo was cutting out from time to time, and I was losing the tachometer or mileage display, the display across the bottom, the gear indicator, and the fuel gauge. So, but not ABS. I wasn't getting ABS faults or issues. So that kind of discounted the idea that it was the earth lead to the ABS pump, which is what the problem was before. So what I did was I had to take the number plate off to get the 2 bolts under there out that hold that bottom plastic cover on. Pull that off, and then you can get at the back of the instrument binnacle. And I pulled the plug. There's one big electrical connector goes into that, which works and runs everything. I pulled that. I sprayed contact cleaner over it, both the bottom of the speedo, or the bottom of the instrument, and into the actual plug itself. Plugged it all back together again, and hey presto, it appears to be working. So that's really the only issue I've had. I mean, it is up the front of the bike, exposed to the weather, although that number plate gives it a little bit of protection. But that's the only issue, and I've done nothing else to the bike. Now then, the other thing I was going to say. Last night I was having a couple of beers with some friends in my local, so I walked there, and we were talking about bikes. We all ride bikes, and one of them's got a Royal Enfield. I've got this and my CCM. One of the other guys has got a Yamaha R6, and the other one rides a Harley. So we're all taking the piss out of each other, but we all ride different bikes, although myself on this and the guy on the Enfield, we're sort of out of the same mould-ish. And we got to talking about retro bikes. And the conclusion we came to was that there's only really Royal Enfield and BSA with their gold star that are truly retro. Everyone else is sliding gently away from it, or not managing it. They look like resto mods. Almost all the Japanese retro bikes look like resto mods. The Norton definitely does. You know, look at just the engine, and it looks like an old Commando. Look at the whole bike, and it looks like a resto mod. This particular model was easing away from it, in our opinion. The earlier one, the carburetted 865, the one that had the really long silencers, the twin silencers that stuck out here, that was definitely a nod to the old Bonnies, TR6s, Tigers and the like from the 60s that turned into desert sleds and street scramblers. This one sort of, because it's water cooled, it's got a much bulkier engine, and it's all black as well. Black's supposed to make it look small, but it still looks like a bloody great big lump to me. And while I'm on that, BSA, for God's sake, there's one thing you could do. That's a water-cooled twin, and look how thin that radiator is. Look how small it is, and it's down at the bottom. It's the same width. It would fit within the frame at the top. Okay, it can't do, but it's a nice slim little radiator that's not in your face. It looks like you've raided the parts bin for Austin Ambassador and stuck a bloody car radiator on the front of that thing. I think if I had a BSA Gold Star, I would seriously look at seeing if I could fit a what's called Triumph Twin radiator to it, because that really ruins the look of that BSA to my mind. Yeah, anyway, so we thought Royal Enfield got the vote. The Royal Enfields look more like the original 60s bikes than any of the others. I mean, I'm desperately trying to make this bike look old school. And in some areas I've got there, other areas there's not a fat lot I can do. And the later Triumphs, I'm into my scramblers, as you well know, but they're getting too many. They look like resto mods. And in the unlikely event that I ever own a 1200, I'm not discounting it totally, but I doubt whether I will. But if a second-hand one came up for sale in a few years' time, I might do if it was the right money. The XE is screaming out to be made to look like a supermoto. I mean, it would be a terrible supermoto because it's just too heavy. But you could make it look like a decent supermoto. You'd have to throw away pretty much all the bodywork, get some small wheels in it, put plastic motocross-style bodywork in it, and I reckon it would make a great supermoto tribute bike, if you like. Anyway, there we go. Testing. Hopefully this camera's working, and hopefully you'll be watching this, and hopefully you'll be able to give me a thumbs up and like and share with your mates and get some more people to subscribe, and thank you to all of those that have done up to now, and I will see you soon. In fact, the next one is likely to be Bike for Life. I'm not sure the weather's going to be great, but the big charity run where we're raising money for Midlands Air Ambulance is less than a week away as I film this today. Like I say, the weather doesn't promise to be particularly great, but hopefully that will be the next film after this one. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you soon. Take care.